Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Jacqui from the YMCA of Greater Boston. We're moving through a Vinyasa flow this morning. Feel free to take any props that you might want to incorporate throughout your practice, and then we'll get started in a seat. If the hips here are tight this morning, you might start with a block underneath your seat. Otherwise, just let the shoulders here lift nice and tall. Hands can rest on top of the lap, and maybe softening the eyes to start. And once you're settled in here, maybe just taking a quick scan, checking in with anything distracting, zippers, jewelry, your hair. And we'll start with an inhale through the nose, lifting the shoulders. Exhale, sighing it out. Full breath in. Sigh it out. Inhale, feeling the chest pressing forward. Exhale, settle. And then keeping a tall seat here. Taking a second scan, just checking in, noticing anywhere maybe you woke up and are still feeling a little tight or tense. Anything left over from the weekend. And then scanning or checking in with any busy thoughts, seeing if you can push those off to the side. An option to set an intention for this morning's practice. That intention might be directly related to your practice on the mat, maybe mindfulness, breath work, the physical asana. Or maybe that intention is something to bring you through the week. Starting here on Monday morning, we'll take the next 2 to 3 rounds of breath, whatever those intentions might be. And together, sealing those intentions. Inhale all the way to the top. Exhale, sigh it out. And gently open the eyes. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Svetlana. Nice to have you back on. I'm going to bring that right hand down to the mat. Walk the right hand out a bit. Left arm peels up overhead. And then you're taking this side body stretch, but keep your bottom on the mat. Maybe the hand on the floor keeps walking out. You can flatten the palm. Looking up overhead here. Full breath in. Exhale. One more round. And gently swap sides. Opposite hand coming down to the mat, walking it out, and reaching that right arm up overhead. Full breath in. Exhale. And again. And bring it all back to center. Sweep both arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, John. Walk those hands out nice and long here. Again, keeping your bottom on the mat. Zipping up that spine, lengthening here. Full breath in. And sigh it out. One more. In through the nose. Out from the mouth. And then bring it back to the top. Gently turn over onto either side, making your way into tabletop. We'll start with a few rounds of cow-cat. Fingers spread wide, pressing into the mat. Starting with that inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, finding your cow. And exhale, cat. Full breath in. Exhale, cat. I'm just beginning to find your own space here. If you'd like to go a little faster or slower. And really arching through the spine here. Again, just checking in with anything you may have woken up with, the way that you slept. And we'll take another 2 or 3 rounds. And we'll meet back at neutral here, flat back. Coming into our puppy pose this morning, feel free to take blocks if you'd like. We want to keep those knees and hips in the same line here, so do your best to not move the hips, but walk the hands and the arms to the top, and then trying to settle that forehead down to the mat. So a couple options with the blocks. You might take one under the forehead. If your forehead is sort of hovering off the mat right now, block can be good filler space. You can take a block under both hands. And as you find your breath, maybe instead of the forehead, the chin comes down to the mat or a cheek. For 2 more. And on that next exhale, take a child's pose. Sink those hips back, keeping the arms extended nice and long, maybe massaging that forehead side to side. And then gently, slowly bringing yourself back to table, to down dog. Tucking the toes, lifting the knees here, pedal it out. Shaking out the head a bit, yes and no. Side to side, maybe back and forth. And then sucking in that belly, navel upwards towards the spine. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale to sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale. One more round. Big breath in. And as you sigh it out, take 10 steps to the top of the mat. And we meet in a forward fold ragdoll. Bending at the knees if those hamstrings are tight. Hands over either elbow. And just shifting that weight side to side. Feel free to start straightening the legs, lifting the toes, going a little deeper if that's calling to you right now. Otherwise, those hands are going to lower down to the mat, 2 tented fingertips here. Walk it out. And taking one more on either side. And bring it back to center. Inhale for your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sun A, sweeping the arms up. Full breath in, reach up, look up. Exhale, release, forward fold. Halfway lift to downward dog. Plant those hands, step both feet back. And still maybe shaking out the head a little, pedaling those legs. Toes can walk closer towards the hands, maybe the heels drop lower towards the mat. Full breath in. And sigh it out. Right leg lifts high, finding that 3-legged dog, pointing your toes up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we stack. Heel towards the bottom, full breath in. Exhale, release and lower. On the opposite side, left leg lifts, finding that 3-legged dog here. And exhale to stack. Full breath in. And release and lower. Take that walk to the top. Ragdoll. See if you can take the opposite forearm in front, your non-dominant side. Swap it out a bit here, shifting that weight. And then releasing those hands down. Tented fingertips, walk it out. Going a little further than the first time. And then bring it back to the middle. Inhaling for that flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sun A, sweeping the arms up. Taking a bind here, you're going to interlace those fingers. Zip it up nice and tall, full breath in. Exhale over the right side. As you do, take a peek up. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left side. Inhale, center. Exhale the hands behind the low back. Interlacing here. Draw the hands away, bend at those knees, forward fold. Now if the hamstrings are tight, you can keep the ribs here sort of resting on the thighs. Maybe the hands are on the low back a bit, but we want to try to lift the hands and straighten the legs so that the belly and the chest come off those thighs. Shake out the head, full breath in. Exhale. Inhale, come back to standing, sweep those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift to down dog. Plant those hands, step both feet back. Pedal out if you'd like. From that down dog, right leg lifts high. Exhale to stack, and then coming into your wild thing or flip dog. So bottom to the mat, belly to the ceiling. In that flip dog here, left leg is long, right arm peels up and open, and then think of lifting the belly towards the ceiling. Let the head fall back. Full breath in. Exhale, down dog. Shake it out. Bring yourself back. Nice tall V here. Left leg lifts high. Exhale, flip dog or wild thing. And again, you are flipping the body over here. Right leg will be long. Left arm peels back. Lift the belly high. Let the head come down. Finding that breath. And on your next exhale, downward dog. Pedal it out. Walk yourself here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Right side lifts high. Low lunge. We're going to step that foot to the top, lowering the left knee to start. Left hand plants, right arm peels up. Look over that shoulder, fingers are spread wide. Full breath in. On the exhale, right hand comes down on the inside of the foot. Left arm peels up. Now in this side twist here, try to keep your shoulder and knee sort of pressing against each other. That'll help with the balance. Full breath in. Exhale, release, frame that foot. Lifting the left leg, step the right foot back, and move through your chaturanga. Pedaling out those legs. Left side lifts high. Low lunge. Step it to the top. Right knee drops. We're going to keep the right hand planted. Left arm peels up. Looking over that shoulder, round out the breath. And on the next exhale, left hand comes down on the inside of the foot. Shoulder and knee here pressing together. Right arm peels up. Look over the right arm, finding that breath. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And then gently release, frame that foot, lifting the right knee, stepping back with the left, chaturanga. Pedaling out, bringing yourself back to your down dog. Right leg lifts high, low lunge. Again, stepping that foot to the top. This time, left knee stays lifted. Left hand plants, right arm peels up. Now you can take blocks under the hands here if you're feeling a little wobbly. Taking a peek over that shoulder, inhale. And as you exhale, right hand comes down on the inside of the foot. Left arm peels up. Still trying to keep that calf and arm here in the same line. Full breath in. On the exhale, we release, frame, step back, move through your flow. On the opposite side, left leg lifting high, low lunge. Right hand stays planted, left arm peels up. Take a peek over that shoulder, finding your breath. One more round. Exhale, swap. Left hand comes down on the inside, right arm peels up. Looking over the shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, release. Frame, step back, chaturanga. Meeting back in your downward dog. Right side lifts high. Pyramid. Step it to the top. Walk the hands back to frame that foot. Again, blocks here if you'd like. Tented fingertips. We're folding over the right leg. Think ribs coming to the thighs, nose to the knee or the shin. And then we're going to walk the arms here to the top, unless you have another variation this morning, but walk the hands here to the top. Think of lengthening the spine, really walking it out. And then as you exhale, try to let the head come down a little closer. If you're tight in the upper back, you should feel a nice release in between those shoulder blades. We're going to stay for 2 more here. 1 more in through the nose. And on that exhale, half moon, stepping into the right, lifting the left, and keeping in mind that the arch of the foot here is towards the mat. Left hand reaching for the ceiling. Taking a peek over that left shoulder. Option to stay or find your sugar cane this morning. You'll bend that left knee, maybe taking a strap at home, hand grabs hold of that foot, pulling the foot up and away from your bottom. So you should feel the back of the right leg here super active, left shoulder's opening, the chest. One more round of breath. Gently release. Let that foot come down, heel toe, shake it out. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. And on the opposite side, left leg lifts, pyramid. Again, your choice if you want those blocks or tented fingertips to start. Folding over the left side. And then we're going to walk those hands to the top. Think of that zipper. Two more here on this side. And on the next exhale, half moon. Step into the left, lift the right. Right hand reaching for the ceiling. Arch the foot to the floor. Fingers spread wide. 3 counts of breath. Maybe going straight into that sugar cane if you'd like. You'll bend that knee. Grab the foot. And then you're pulling up and away from the body. Back of the left leg is long. Right shoulder active. The chest here. Stay for 2 more. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, gently release. Shake it out. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. And meeting back in our downward dog. From here, right leg lifts high. Warrior 1. Step that foot to the top, squaring it off. Sweeping the arms up overhead. Holding on to that imaginary pumpkin for a moment. Squaring off the hips. Think of your headlights. Humble warrior. Hands interlace behind you. Keep that bend in the knee, folding over. As you fold over, we're dropping the head, lifting the knuckles. Maybe squeezing those palms a little closer together. Try to get that shoulder to dip down towards the knee. One more round of breath. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 1. Chaturanga. From downward dog, left side lifts high. Warrior 1. Squaring it off, finding those headlights on the hips, sweeping the arms up nice and high. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale. One more full breath in. On that exhale, humble warrior, see if you can get the other thumb on top, non-dominant side, folding over. Keep the bend in the knee. Think shoulder to knee, so really dropping the head here. Keeping that bend. Inhale. Exhale. One more round. And on that exhale, warrior 1. Chaturanga. And pausing in your down dog, 3 counts of breath here. One more round. Inhale, warrior 1. Bring it back to the top, sweeping those arms up. Setting here for your airplane. So 2 options. If you want to come into this a little bit easier, hands will come to heart center. Otherwise, the arms extend out long for those airplane wings here. Stepping into the right side, you want to lift the left knee and then start to kick back. Don't worry if the balance is funky, just take your time coming into this. We want to keep the chest parallel towards the floor. Sole of the foot is extending towards the back side of the room. Hands can stay, or maybe they open for those wings. If you want to get a little funky today, you can bind. Warrior 1, step that foot back, sweep up, chaturanga. Pedal it out, meeting back in your down dog. Left side, warrior 1, stepping it to the top, square it off. Sweeping the arms up, finding your breath. And then again, your choice here for airplane or warrior 3, the hands can stay at heart. Maybe they extend out long. All of this is optional, depends on how the balance feels on this side, but we're gonna step into the left, lift the right, and then you're extending and kicking back. So think sole of the foot here, reaching towards the back wall, the back of the room. Chest stays parallel to the floor. The hands can stay here the whole time, or they extend out. And if you like that challenge of binding behind you, staying for 2 more rounds. Warrior 1, step back, sweep up, chaturanga. Pedaling out, bring it back to your downward dog. Right leg lifts high, crescent lunge. Stepping that foot to the top, we're gonna pause for a moment. The back heel stays lifted no matter what. You can drop the knee to modify if you'd like, but think crescent lunge, you're curling those toes over. Arms sweep up. You might scooch that foot over to the right side a little bit more. Holding on to that pumpkin, full breath in. Sighing it out. Hands are gonna come to heart center for a twist. If you know where we're headed, you can jump ahead. Left elbow hooking over that right knee. So even if you're modifying, it's a little easier to hook, think pulling the ribs here up towards the ceiling. Otherwise, it's a little more challenging, but we can still pull it out. The hands will stay pressed, or reaching those arms up. For 2 more, whether you're modified or not. And then gently release. You're gonna frame that foot, step it back, move through your flow. Pedaling out here. Left side lifts high, crescent lunge. And again, that heel stays lifted. So even if you drop the knee, the heel is up. Arms sweep up overhead. Finding your balance. When you're ready, those hands come to heart center. Right elbow hooking over the left knee. Try to pull those ribs up and out. Hands can stay pressed or open. For 2 more. And then gently exhale, release, frame that foot. Chaturanga. from our down dog. Right side lifts high, lizard lunge, top right corner. Again, blocks if you want. Left knee drops down, untuck the toes. Think knee and shoulder in the same line here. So if that hand is kind of far away from the foot, bring it in a little bit here. Chin is lifted, gaze forward. Right hand comes to the right knee, gently press onto the blade. So sole of the foot comes up. Hand can stay or you can bring it back down. Maybe dropping it to the forearms. For 2 more rounds of breath. And then bring the sole back down to the mat, walking it to the left side here for your half pigeon or figure 4. The knee will come down to replace that right side where the hand was, and the foot for the left. Now, if this is tight, you want to wedge maybe the block or a blanket or a bolster, whatever you might have at home. You can stay upright here. Make sure that the back left foot here, top of the foot to the mat. Maybe uncomfortable, maybe not. So you can stay upright or we begin to fold. You might drop it down to the forearms. Again, blocks or a bolster can be under the forearms. A bolster or a pillow between the ribs and the lap can feel pretty nice if this is a lot of stress. And we stay a little while longer. Again, you might stay in that upright seat or here. Maybe the arms eventually walk out and you can lower that forehead down to the mat. And then even if it's just a smidge of space, see if you can lengthen more to the top. And then gently begin to bring yourself back up. Those hands are going to frame. You're going to tuck the toes on the left foot to lift. Right foot steps back. Chaturanga. Paddling it out. On the opposite side, left leg lifts high, lizard lunge. Top left corner, that right knee will come down, untucking the toes. Your choice again if the blocks the hands or maybe taking it down to the forearms on this side. And then we'll take that left hand to the knee here, rolling onto the blade. The hand can stay, it can come back down, or dropping once more to those forearms. Two more rounds of breath in this variation of your lizard lunge. Slowly take it back to the hands. You're going to walk that foot, this time over to the right side of the mat. Knee will come down to replace the left. Taking the blocks, if that was helpful the last time around, underneath your left cheek here. Otherwise, finding that seat, you can stay upright the entire time or beginning to fold. And just a reminder that the bolster or the blanket might feel better in between the ribs and the lap. And just seeing if you can take up any more space. Thinking of that zipper, walking the arms, the body here, more to the top. And then gently bring it back up to that seat. Instead of tucking toes this time, we're going to swing that right leg around front. Both legs will kick out for your L seat or your staff pose, scooping out from under, pointing the toes to the head, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. If you can reach the toes, pull them to the head. If you've got your strap, tighten up any loose slack. So you still want those shoulders engaged. Full breath in. Exhale. One more round. And bring it back to the top. Opening those legs out for a straddle, I'll turn to face you all. Keeping a tall seat in your straddle, so again, if you've got to scoop out from under, toes will point to the head, arms sweep up, inhaling. Exhaling right down the middle. Walk it out, sort of pull or grip the belly and the chest down. Maybe the forehead softens on a block. We're going to stay here for a few rounds of breath, trying to find more space as we're breathing here. So in the beginning, it might be scooching the feet a little bit more outward towards the edges of the mat, and then sort of pulling the body forward here. And then again, recline, the forehead can rest on the block or the hands, or that bolster in between the belly and the mat. And then even more, see if you can walk yourself longer to the top. You might stay on the forearms, that's fine the entire time, but see if you can lengthen. And to go a little bit deeper in those shoulders, we actually turn the palms up here. We'll stay for another 3 rounds of breath. And then slowly start to bring yourself back up. We're going to bring those legs together. I know you're probably pretty tight right now, so take your time coming out of that. We'll take a quick child's pose. Just let those hips relax for a moment. And bring yourself back up. We're going to move into a frog pose. We may have done this once before a while back. Again, I'll turn to face you all. You want to be the long way on your mat at home, so if you need to take a second to scooch around, go ahead. But long way on the mat so that your knees have something soft underneath them. We're going to bring it down to the hands to start, and then separating the knees here bit by bit. Let me push back a little because I know I'm going to go over the edge here, but separate those knees. And as you're separating the knees, you want to kind of take a peek back that your knee is in line with the ankle, and then the knee is also in line with the hip. And I'll do this from the side so you can see the hip difference. As you're scooching here, separating the knees, we're trying to deepen into the hips and the groin and those hip flexors. You can stay on the hands, but it's better to drop to the forearms. Even if you're uncomfortable, if the forearms are better, there's less pressure on the low back and the hips if you're on those forearms. The hands, it kind of heightens it and it's uncomfortable. So staying here, this might be where you are. I do recommend a block, maybe 2 blocks, and you're going to let your forehead rest on those blocks. It's important to be mindful of the shape in the back, and again, I'll move in a second, but if your feet are sort of touching in the back, separate the feet and bring the ankles and the feet here in line with the knees. So I'm going to come out just so you can see from the side what a lot of us tend to do because this is so uncomfortable in the beginning. So we're separating those knees as much as the body will allow, right? Dropping the hips here. Now, if again the feet are coming together in the back, you're scooching them out and then checking in with knee and hip. Because it can be so uncomfortable, a lot of us do this. I'm going to pull my hips way forward, and then there's no sensation, there's really no engagement of the hip and the glute. And then the opposite, a lot of us will do this, we sit back. It's uncomfortable, I know that, but we want to keep the line here. So the line is ankle and knee, knee and hip. Bit by bit, you're trying to keep that space here, and you might keep shifting the knees further apart. The forearms are better. The forearms with a block, that's nice too. If the hips are cooperating this morning, or you just, you love hip openers and this feels good, we want to actually walk those arms out. Let the chest come down to the floor here. Forehead can come down, or a cheek. This is definitely, working our patience, practicing patience, being mindful of where the body is right now. So if you're starting to sort of shift those hips forward or back, notice where you are. Sometimes we do that for a second or two, but bring yourself back if you've got to come out of it, just to catch your breath. We'll take another 3 to 5 rounds of breath in that frog pose. And then when we're coming out, we're going to take our time. This is the only time I'll ever say bring the feet together and back so that you have a little bit of leverage to push back. Slowly bring the knees in, little by little, and we'll meet in that child's pose once more. Knees together, hips sink back, and walk those arms out nice and long. And meet on our bellies. Take a bend in the knees. Knock those ankles side to side. And then gently turn over onto the back side here. We'll take a bend in the knees. Bring those knees in towards the belly. And wrap your arms over the shins here. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Or small circles on that low back, whatever feels best. Into not child's pose, into happy baby. Lifting the feet towards the ceiling, soles of the feet face up, give it a little rock side to side. And let the feet come down. Taking any other asana that we didn't get to this morning, anything the body might be sort of seeking or craving. Otherwise, we're going to take one hand over the belly, one hand over the heart. Legs are long and relaxed. Inhale. Exhale. Shavasana. And gently turn over onto either side and press yourself up and forward. We'll bring hands together at heart center. And together we inhale and sigh it out. Hands lift to the center of the forehead. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live your life with ease. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Take care.